Much of Alaska's history is heavily sugar-coated and whitewashed. Tourists don't get the full story. Most people come up here and visit. They hear about the railroad workers, the miners, the fishermen, the oilmen, all painted as brave heroes of Western culture. In reality, what happened is more like a slow-moving genocide. Wow, that was well written. Sad, but real. We're in Nenana. It's a village up here where about half the population is Native Alaskan. There's a few hundred people in town, and every week seems like somebody else leaves for good. There's more than 200 little native villages in Alaska like this. From what I've heard, there's not a lot of happiness in these communities. I read about alcoholism, drug abuse, spousal abuse, suicide. Same stuff you hear about in Native American reservations in the lower 48. The native culture is sprinkled all over Alaska. It's hard to go anywhere up here without being reminded of it. So as we drove around the state, we stopped in each of the little Native Alaskan villages we came to. I'm going to show you what we saw and talk to you about why it's like this.
I'm not going to say it, but they will survive, you know.
How do they survive on so little money and with regulations, with fishing regulations and hunting how do they manage it?
Struggle. Yeah, they struggle. And there's some that don't, they're really struggling. There's some that don't have enough to eat. You know, there's families, hungry kids, you know, and if you go in the village, you don't see it, you know, because those kids are not going to come and say, oh, I'm hungry. You know, they feel it, though. You know they never eat all day, but that's how we grew up in the village, you know, just try to survive, so one way or another.
That's Daniel. He's a Native Alaskan. We sat down and talked to him for a little bit one day when we were in the state. He's a really neat guy, and I'm lucky to have met him. He told us a lot about the Native Alaskan culture and the history up here. We'll come back to him later. Where we are right now is Chickaloon. It's another Alaskan village with a few hundred people. Now, by village, this isn't a self-contained type of place. This isn't a reservation. That's not how things are set up here in Alaska. It's really just a small community that's mostly Eskimo, or Native Alaskan. Chickaloon's right off the main highway, about 90 minutes east of Anchorage. But most of the native villages up here are rural. Look at this map. There's more than 200 of these little villages all over the state. I heard in some of the rural villages, the kids get to take a plane to school. That sounds cool. School plane's coming. Hop on. During COVID, they had to use sled dogs to get the medicine and food to some of the remote Alaskan villages. They are way out there. Way out in the sticks, you'll see Eskimos still living in yurts, drinking fresh blood, hunting whales. So a lot of them are not modern like what we're seeing right here. One out of 5 Alaskans still identify as American Indian or Alaska Native. Back in the day, the whole state was Eskimo. Then the Russian fur traders came over, and some of those fur traders, they were very cruel to the natives here. Treated them like slaves. There were massacres. But the Russian missionaries, they were very kind to them. This was all in the 17 and 1800s. Then America showed up, and you know, we like to exploit stuff. Well, let's see what we got here. Oh, look, there's oil. In 1968, we discovered oil in Prudhoe Bay. And that was a big deal. So, of course, we negotiated with the native villages, And in 1971, we passed the Alaska Native Claims and Settlement Act, which set aside a bunch of land and money for the Native Alaskans. And in exchange, we got to drill, and we haven't stopped. Probably won't ever. Now, there's been all sorts of controversies as to how this was all handled. A lot of these rural villages, they don't have access to a grocery store. They hunt, they fish. Of course, there's other reasons that there's a low fish count up here. Commercial fishing, climate change. But the tribes up here, they're worried. Where are we going to get our fish one day? We're going to starve. But some tribes don't care about that. They want the oil money. They're not worried about the fish. Now I'm going to show you Barrow in other videos, but briefly, this is the largest Alaska village. It's just wild up here at the top of the state along the Arctic Ocean. These are probably the wealthiest natives in the entire state. They all get about $50 to $75K a year in oil money. But they live a simple life. Places falling down all around them, and they don't seem to care. Yeah, tell me, how big is your village?
About 270.
270.
Yeah, maybe 275.
And we were talking. How much income do they have up at your village?
The jobs are really scarce. Majority of the village don't work. Dependent on Social Security, dividends, APA. Food stamps, but they can't help it. It's not by choice, because there's no jobs there to let everybody have jobs. And when there is a job, they get people from out of town to fill that position, and so that leaves the people hanging, and pretty soon they're just dependent on dividends and APA, Social Security. I mean, it's pretty tough out there. With jobs, there's none. I mean, you can't. If you look for a job, there's about 100 people looking at the same job, you know?
Yeah, and so they like $1,600 a year with the PFD, and then maybe $400 a year. $400 a year with the other corporation. Yeah. So $2,000 a year is not a lot to survive on, and
you can't. And man, I haven't looked at the prices lately, but you get a T-bone steak for $32 frozen. Don't even feed your whole family for one T-bone steak, you know. And God knows how much the chicken costs nowadays, and the regulations in the hunting and fishing can't really survive out there unless you do it under the table somehow, you know.
So they regulate the villages as much as the regular Alaskans in terms of what they can fish and hunt.
Exactly, and the rural Alaska is more dependent on subsistence fishing for the reason that there's no jobs that they can go to.
We need to drill oil. These people need the money, and we need the gas. Oops.
Can you stop right here and turn off the car?
It says call for auto park.
Really? Okay, so we're at what looks to be an abandoned old store here in a native village of Cantwell. And this place has been long forgotten. You're on camera. Oh, shit. She got tripped. Nothing left. An old Eskimo army tank. There's nothing left here anymore. This village is suffering. Can you just back up a second? That's burned out. Okay. So we've all gone through a period of our lives where we feel overwhelmed by debt. Mortgage payments, car payments, credit card debt, medical debt. Did you know that 78% of Americans have some kind of debt? Just keeps adding up. Well, if you can get rid of all that debt, you can make your money work for you, not your lenders. It doesn't have to be this way. The solution is PDS Debt, the sponsor of today's video. PDS Debt helps you manage your debt and empower you to take control of your finances. Yes, their platform helps you understand your unique financial situation and create a personalized plan for your lifestyle. That way you can pay off your debt faster. Wouldn't that be great? There's no minimum credit score required either. PDS Debt can help anyone. Now, back when I first started out, I was overwhelmed with credit card debt. Most of my payments were going to pay off the interest. I wish I had a smart platform like PDS Debt back then to help me manage my debt and get out of debt faster. Getting started is easy. Go to pdsdebt.com/Nick Johnson to complete your free debt assessment to find out what options are available to you. Every day you wait is costing you money. Get started with your free debt analysis at pdsdebt.com/Nick Johnson. That's pdsdebt.com/Nick Johnson. Now this is Nenana again. Half the population here is Native Alaskan. They're also struggling to stay afloat in a modern world. Villages kind of falling down all over. But not the bar. So we're going to go inside and see if we can talk to that guy. All right. What's up, man? What is this? What is this town? This is a very interesting town.
It's Nenana.
Okay.
It means the gathering place is where all the hunters used to come. Because of the two rivers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like Native Alaskan?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it was actually a village before it was a city. That's how they put the post office there, and that's how we got a city now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it like to live way out here? I don't know anything about this.
Peaceful. It's nice because you're away from all the bullshit, so I don't know if you say that on your thing there.
No, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, right on, man. No, it's not too bad out here, man. It's not too bad. Kick back, nice people. You know, they don't have all that city life.
Yeah.
You know? Get to pretty much do what we want. Cops are 100 miles away, so, you know, we take care of shit in case they don't get here in time. It's one of those kind of places, man.
Yeah, good. We need more of those places.
That's what I say. That's what I say.
Yeah, take care of yourself and don't rely on anybody else.
That's it, man. Take care of your own. Take care of your own.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I like your hat, man.
Oh, yeah, Trump all the way, brother.
Yeah. Is that how a lot of people out here are pretty conservative out here?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, Severdy Hunter over there, he's a Democrat.
All right.
Yeah, nobody can be perfect, but...
They have an annual tradition here. Every spring they stick that big tripod metal thing right there out on the river. Everybody tries to guess, what day is it going to fall through? What day is the river going to break up? You can win a lot of money if you get the right date. This is where they do it. Right here. And everybody makes a bet. And that river, eventually, right now it's flowing. It's frozen over. And they all sit out here. line the banks and make a bet. This is an old boat that the natives used to hunt whale and walrus and seal back in the old days, and they keep it here in this village here in Nenana as a reminder of the old days when they used to hunt out on the oceans. This is a klutna. Now, they don't hunt whales or live in yurts here either. There's about 70 people in town. They don't have a village store. They don't have a post office. Not really much of a school. Just simple houses. I read that healthcare is free if you're a Native Alaskan. If you're half Native, then you pay half your hospital bill.
It's best if they go training someplace, you know, just get away from the village. And but most people are stuck in that situation, you know. They can't leave the village, or they don't want to leave the village, and that makes it tough on the government, I guess. But they're just trying to survive, you know, and I mean, I can't express how tough it is living out there. I mean, I personally can't live out there because of my health condition, and I mean, I can't work, and I couldn't live out there with all the prices of the food and fuel. The fuel's about $8 a gallon now.
Gas is $8 a gallon out in the villages? Because it's so hard to get out there?
Yeah. And
is that one of the reasons that drugs and alcohol is so bad in the villages? Because of the struggle?
I wouldn't answer that, cause for the reason that there's different things, you know. I mean, it couldn't all be blamed on the struggle of living in bush Alaska, because if you work at it, you could make a good living out there. You just can't be lazy, you know, because there's lots of fur to trap, and I don't see hardly anybody. I grew up, my dad pulled me out of school to go trapping, you know, and you don't hardly see people going out. Very few people go out and catch fur to sell, you know, because fur prices went down too, and that hurts any income, I guess, you know.
And nobody's rich here in Chickaloon, unless these people are just getting by. Half the population here is native, and almost everyone here is poor. When we stopped by, we saw some natives who were living in an abandoned building on the side of the road. It was really sad. Biggest challenges for Alaska's native population are poverty and addiction. All the native people here get oil money payments, but for most of them it's not much. A few hundred a month. A lot of the natives here, they don't have steady work, which leads to a life of addiction. Drugs and alcohol are a real tragedy in Alaska's villages. Fentanyl has been especially crippling. Kamala and them left the borders open, and the Mexican drug lords realized, hey, there's an untapped market up here. So they've been flooding the villages with fentanyl, usually by plane or snow machines. And there's not a lot of cops around here to stop it. In these little villages that work together, Even 5 or 6 people getting strung out ruins the entire village's productivity. One higher-up said the amount of drugs coming up here has completely changed the entire communities, all of them up here. I mean, today, the overdose rate for natives is 3 times higher than the rest of Alaska, which is already high. You've probably heard about the alcohol abuse that happens in these villages. There's something about the way the Native Alaskans process booze. It makes them feel the effects of alcohol more than most other races. They can't metabolize it the same. And the addiction here leads to other problems. Domestic violence, rape. Alaska has the highest suicide rate in the country, and the native population's a big reason for that. Anyways, there's a lot of drama in these villages. They've been through a lot over the last 200 years. Today, almost all of them are shrinking. There used to be 300 native languages spoken in Alaska. Now there's just about 20 or so. Is it getting worse, the struggle on these villages? Is it, as the costs go up, are they getting poorer out there?
I don't know, I don't know, just a little bit more harder work. I don't know, but they're not going to give up. No matter, they won't. They'll go get their foods one way or another, you know. But they're not. Those people are not going to give up. They're tough. They're weathered in that situation already, and it's tough. I tell you. That's the reason I'm here instead of out there, because I can't live that lifestyle out there no more with my condition, you know. And it's tough life out there, and you gotta have some kind of head on your shoulders to do stuff, you know, or have a buddy that knows all that stuff, you know, and let them help you out survive. But it really is a work together thing. If you don't work together, if you do it individually, it's not going to work. It's a good lifestyle, but tough one, and it have no mercy. If you don't know, you're going to vanish, you know, because it is a tough life out there.
Now, some people say the indigenous people and their culture and the ways of life are the heartbeat of Alaska. That's changing, though. The modern world's catching up. Now, the fight for the control of the land up here, it's never ending. It's all about how much oil can we get out of the ground up here. Everybody knows the pipeline boom days are over. But how are these populations going to evolve without that money? Everybody likes that cash. And 85% of the state's general fund comes from taxes on the oil companies. If they ever stop drilling up here, most of the native population is going to have to make a big adjustment. Are they going to survive? Are they going to slowly disappear? They're going to have to evolve. The question is, do they have the ability to do it on their own?
Anyway, when I was growing up, we had very little gas. No electricity. Electricity came about 65 maybe, around 66 to our area. And we had a tough time with gas, and we were always rowing places if we needed to go with boat. And it was fun. It was lots of work, but fun, you know. And my family, I mean, because we moved, my dad, he worked in a lumber, you know, sawmill, and wherever they moved, he moved to, so we had to move too, you know. And we lived in when I first started school, that was the first time we ever moved to a village, when I was about 5.5, going on 6, you know. And that was the first time we moved from the bush to the Calskeg. And anyway, I'm going to tell you, this is kind of we were all little. We was going to move down. We were going down with a little boat, and to the village where I was going to go to school, and we were moving down. All our stuff was in there, and we come, and my dad said, you know, when we first left, we seen a moose, and my dad said, well, we'll get one closer to the village. And anyway, right one bend above Calskag, we seen a moose swimming across the river. I always wanted to do this again, but nope, I didn't have the guts. He lassoed it while it was swimming, and boy, my mom she was ready to kill him, you know, because there was my brother and my sister in the boat with us, you know, and she didn't want nothing to happen to us, you know. And anyway, he lassoed it, and we dragged it all the way down to island, and him and another elder went and get it. But that was the first one I see without gun, you know. I mean, he got that one. But anyway, we moved down. There was a little sod hut. We lived in there for about 3 years till my dad built a house. And that was the most fun years for me anyway.
Well, hey, Nick Johnson fans. So YouTube's pushing this whole membership thing now, and I think it's great. So I set one up for this channel. If you want to be a member on this channel, you can only do it on your computer right now. They make it hard for some reason. So go and hit join right there, and you can support the channel and join various membership tiers. I'm excited about it because I'm going to post all sort of behind the scenes content, extra interviews, fun mappy stuff, bonus songs, and more. Just some extra stuff that doesn't make it onto the main channel. So think about becoming a member. Huh, everyone?
You should join. I did.
Are you looking to move and need advice? I do consulting. That's right. I'll sit down and talk about where the next perfect place for you and your family should be. I do it all the time. Together, let's find you a new home that's safe and checks all your boxes. And I can also help you find your new house, too. Email me and I'll work with you on not just helping you figure out where to move, but I can help you find your perfect home, too. That's right. I know awesome, reliable agents all over the country, and I'd love to connect you to somebody who can help you search for that perfect home. And if you want to buy some Mappy gear, click the store link on my homepage. From there, you can check out the latest merch. There's hoodies, coffee cups, stickers, and shirts. Show off how much you love Mappy and support the channel. And I'm on Cameo too. If you want me to send you or somebody you know a personalized video message, go to Cameo and search Nick Johnson YouTube. It's fun.
Hey YouTube world, I'm Sage, Nick's manager. You've enjoyed a Corner House Entertainment production, so watch another one.
Hey guys, if you learned something new about America or what it's like to live in America, great. You should think about subscribing and turning on your notifications. You can also click one of these videos or playlists for more.